All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? My name is Denonu, one half of the Neo Digital Podcast, and I'm here with my co-host and my homie, my brother from another mother.
Oh shit, man! All the regalness, man. My brother. Thank you, my brother. Oh, remind me to give you a bean pie later, bro. All right, so my name is the illustrious, jolly, dangerous, the other half of the Neo Digital Podcast, but not as good as the first half. Yeah, I'm over here. Oh shit.
And with this one here, we're going to be watching the third Death Battle video, and this is Static Shock versus Miles Morales, Spider-Man. So,
Yeah.
so what you think? Just you know both of these characters. I know both of these characters. This is one I think
Okay.
that haven't even seen, so I'm not really sure. So I'm
Okay.
I'm I'm leaning towards Miles.
I see. That's the thing. I am too.
Yeah.
So I'm leaning towards Miles because I know that, and with my limited knowledge of Static Shock, because I watched the cartoon more than I read his comic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in his comic is very similar to the cartoon. Like he still
Yeah.
has weaknesses. Now the older version, now I don't know what they're going to. I don't know whether they're going to go with his young self or his older self. Because like Justice League,
Mm-hmm.
Static, he was older. You know, he had the dreadlocks. He was old and gray. He had a lot more power. He was tuned in his ways. The younger version of him, he had a lot more weaknesses. Like for instance, I remember that his biggest weakness was water. If you
Yeah.
hit if you
Ground him
hit
out.
him with water, it would ground him. He would short out. He couldn't use his powers until he dried off because it was more. He didn't make electricity. It was static.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole thing. It was like the static electricity that he used.
Yeah, it's
And
kind of like
magnetics.
low rent electromagnetism. So anything that
Exactly.
let's say like Magneto can do, he should
Yeah.
be able to do with enough power and stuff. But yeah, it's all based on electricity and the rules behind it.
Yeah. Exactly. Now with Miles Morales, on the other hand, he can create electricity and
Mm,
he can hit people with it. That doesn't matter if he's wet or not. He can still
yeah,
do that. Other than the electricity, Static was a regular human.
yeah,
He had regular human strength. He can fly around, but only on his disc. You take that away, he can't fly.
yeah. He had
You take
no biological super strength, superpowers, that kind of sort
exactly.
of thing.
Now, maybe in like Justice League of America version, he had a little bit more gadgets, but you
Mm,
still have Miles Morales with spider sense. He still has spider sense. He still has the ability to do the electric punch,
hmm.
and he has superhuman strength. Not
Yeah,
to mention his agility and his webbing.
yeah.
So if he can ground Static with his webbing,
Which is
and
possible because that's how Spider-Man beats Electro half the time.
yep,
So
if he can ground him with his webbing to where he can't fly away, to where he can't use his electricity, he can just knock him out with a punch. That's all
yeah,
he really needs. But I need to see what they have on Static in order to really go off of
yeah. Because if Miles has Spider Sense, then that's the biggest hurdle right there. Because that's going to allow him to use his agility, his spider speed, and
it.
all that, just like Spider-Man would. And that's the reason why he's such a beast in the comic books, to dodge damn near everybody. So if Miles
Yep,
can do even, let's say, three-quarters of that, then Static can be throwing lightning bolts his way, but he's going to dodge them. So,
I'll
you
throw
know,
this out there. I will say they'll probably pull some bullshit like this if he wins, and we can talk about it, like after we get more information. But if he wins, it's going to be like even though he has spider sense, he's not fast enough to dodge lightning.
yeah, could be.
That
Yeah,
would be the only other way.
yeah. But, well, but then again, Spider-Man beats Electro. That's his
I
whole
know,
shtick.
I
So,
know, I know. We just gotta see. We gotta see what they have.
all right, let's do it.
Throughout the Earths of Marvel and DC Comics, there are hundreds, no thousands, of superheroes saving the day. But what if I told you there were even more across the multiverse?
Oh, great, as if we don't have enough to keep track of already.
Miles Morales, the Spider-Man of Marvel's Earth number 1610.
And Static, the electric genius from DC's Dakotaverse. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. At first glance, the world of Earth 1610 isn't so
Man, that
different
movie
from our
was
own.
amazing.
Look closer and you'll find
Yeah, it
Coca
was.
Soda instead of Coca-Cola.
I just hated how like it had a slow frame
BDNY
rate.
officers instead of NYPD.
It's like they didn't like it's like every scene you can see where like it dropped frames.
Goddamn dollars.
But perhaps the greatest difference in this so-called
Wait, what?
Ultimate
Go back.
Universe was that
Did you
Peter
see that?
instead of NYPD.
And a hamburger and fries can cost 30,000 goddamn dollars.
God, please.
Damn. Greek burgers,
Legit.
souvlaki fries.
3
But
burgers
perhaps
is
the greatest
11,000.
difference in this so-called Ultimate Universe was that Peter Parker, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, was dead.
Enter Miles Morales. He was your typical kid from
What a
Brooklyn
head
and
boy.
didn't have much to worry about.
Man.
His overbearing mom and dad. Hey kid, appreciate your folks while you have them. You never know when they're gonna pull a surprise Uncle Ben.
Well, Miles
Oh.
spent most of his time with his more laid-back Uncle Aaron, who turned out to be a secret supercriminal.
Totally relatable. Anyway, during one of his heists into a secret lab, Aaron
looking
accidentally
like
scooped
Common.
up a spider. The next time Miles visited, the spider got loose and, you know what happens.
Miles, let's go.
That was my
The
favorite part.
spider carried the genetic enhancing Oz formula.
That's
Yet
not how
another
people be
attempt
real
to
up.
recreate
Oh,
Captain
shit.
America's infamous super soldier serum. It had previously transformed Peter Parker into the first Spider-Man.
Yeah, Peter, he was like,
Who came up with the idea
That's
to store
obvious.
the
Like, oh, what the
super
fuck is
serum
this? Get the
in
fuck
a
out of here.
spider?
Scientists can be weird sometimes.
Maybe next time, put it in something that can't walk away. It's got 8 legs. That's like 4 times more walking power.
Sure. Either way, with his new powers, Miles donned red and black to become the ultimate Spider-Man.
As the newest spider lad on the block, he does whatever a spider can. He's super strong, super fast, and has the overpowered super radar, the spider
oh,
sense.
After meeting
camouflage.
Peter's
Yep,
Aunt
we
May,
can go on
Miles
this
one.
developed
Forgot
the
about that.
classic web shooters, complete with multiple types of long to short range webbing.
Yet another tool that would be perfect for snagging a beer from the fridge without leaving the couch.
Boomstick,
Yeah, his webbing has
he
to
was
run
a
out.
teenager.
Different universe, different drinking laws, right? And also, like Peter, he can stick to walls. You know, spider style.
Yes, like some spiders, Miles can control his body's interatomic attraction, essentially sticking to walls like a magnet. However, unlike Peter, this subatomic electron manipulation gave Miles a few extra moves of his own.
Yeah, the kid's got electric powers. He can zap people with a quick touch, fire off massive explosions, and even turn invisible. Wait, what's that got to do with shocking people?
This venom sting can even take out the Ultimate Universe's Electro, a being literally made of electricity. But Miles
Bruh.
didn't just shock him, he disrupted Electro's own charge. Similar to a miswiring sending too much electricity in one direction and shorting out your computer when somebody forgot to plug
That
it into
alone
the surge
beats static.
protector.
Whiz,
If
you
he
know
touches
I don't
him.
believe in protection for
If he
anything.
touches him.
It's going in raw.
Anyway, as the new
Wait, we kinda
Spider-Man,
missed that. Let's go back.
into the surge electricity in one direction
My
and
mind went
shorting
to a
out
whole
your
other
computer
place.
when somebody forgot to plug it into the surge protector.
Wiz, you know I don't believe in protection for anything. It's going in raw.
Wow.
Anyway, as the new Spider-Man,
Wow.
Miles obviously had a lot to live up to. After his Uncle Aaron
Nice.
died in front of him,
Ha! Told you somebody would pull a Ben.
Miles pushed past the heartache. He persisted, living up to Peter's ideals, and eventually stepped out of his shadow to be Spider-Man in a way only he could.
Oh yeah, what's up,
Still love that
Major?
costume.
He can blast apart a building-sized monster and survived being slammed around by the giant Cassie Lang. That's Ant-Man's daughter.
He's smart enough to hack military
Stature.
drones and quick enough to destroy an alien device in a microsecond. Essentially, he needed to open and close a portal in an impossibly short time frame to prevent an alien force from invading. It's a long story.
Point is, he's super fast. With his spider sense, he can react to things before they even happen. He's super tough, too. He even survived being caught in this giant super collider exploding.
Measuring the size of this hole using real-world maps of New York and solving for fragmentation, we know this explosion must have been equivalent to about 222 tons of TNT.
Sure, that's not technically canon to the comics,
Okay.
but guys, main series Spider-Man has done way crazier things. I mean, he has the same powers, and Miles has even beat the crap out of him. Classic Pete can bench press 130 tons.
I have that
uses
comic.
spider sense to dodge beams of light. And
Don't have that
ripped apart
one.
Doc Ock's robo
Have that one.
which once survived a 2-kiloton nuclear explosion. So I'd say the super collider feat checks out.
Unfortunately, Miles' electric powers can tire him out, and his spider sense does not protect him automatically, serving more as an alarm or proximity sensor.
Yeah.
But
So it's
he
not like
proved
Peter's?
himself to be the best successor a
No,
Spider-Man
it's-
could ever
it's-
want.
it's just like it.
More, he even got pulled
But-
to the main Marvel timeline when they blew up the Ultimate Universe. Miles Morales is truly
why he's
one
still
of
around.
the greats.
Don't wash the mouth. Wash the hands.
Because I know Peters is automatic. He like it's not like a conscious effort that he has to do.
Despite growing up in the
Oh,
most
he can move
crime-filled
automatically.
neighborhood of Dakota
Yeah.
City, Virgil Hawkins...
Well, his
was a
body will
chill
kind of
guy.
move itself on
He
instinct
spent his time
versus.
playing
not
Yeah,
D&D,
nah, him is just-
comics,
it's just- he
you
just
know,
knows it.
typical nerd
So,
stuff.
okay, so
But
if
had
he doesn't
one major
move, then
problem,
he's
the
still gonna get it.
classic sitcom bully. No teenage story is complete without it.
During school, he was frequently harassed by local gang leader Francis Stone. Virgil's only refuge
That
was
dick.
one of his few friends, Larry Wade.
Larry convinced Virgil there was only one way to get rid of Francis for good.
Shoot
Join
that
his
up.
own gang and pack some heat. Things
Yup.
got, well, pretty intense, and Virgil wasn't having any
He
of
threw
it.
that gun
It
like a
was
little
time
wuss.
to bail like DC Comics on their cinematic universe.
But the damage
Wow.
was already done. The police arrived and let loose a massive canister of what seemed to be tear gas, but wasn't.
Yeah, this grape-looking mist was actually some experimental shit. It was supposed to tag each gang member so the cops could track them down later, but it was actually laced with radioactive quantum juice, which killed almost everybody. I hate it when that happens.
Luckily, Virgil was one of the few who
You know they were
survived,
doing-
but
they were
the
trying to get rid of all the black
quantum
people.
juice still had an effect.
You could say he was shocked to find out what it did.
Yes, he began to
So you know they
develop
gotta talk about that theme song.
powers. Before this, Virgil always felt out
Better
of
do
his
it.
league. But now he was in a league of his own and became the superhero Static.
Look like a giant toaster.
I knew it. I knew it.
There it is.
Hell yeah!
Theme song's too
With
good,
his
man.
new powers, the guy was unstoppable. He could blow shit up with electric bolts quick as lightning, make explosion balls called Nova Bombs, and taser people with punches to the face.
Right,
Yeah.
but he's not just good at shocking people. Static can alter the electron attraction of any object or surface. He can erect extremely durable electromagnetic force fields that block most attacks. He can even move metal around like a hip young Magneto.
And slip metal under his feet to take to the sky. His favorite ride is the Static Saucer, a giant frisbee that doubles as a shield and buzzsaw. Think
Oh, it's a
about
trash
it.
can
Don't you
lid.
wish your car could literally cut through traffic?
I think that's the one that
Obviously,
I
turning
think Gear
Superhero
made him or
overnight
something
caught
in
Virgil
the
a bit
show.
off guard. But after a few speed bumps, he became a well-regarded superhero throughout the city of Dakota, even teaming up with fellow heroes like Icon and Rocket.
Icon and Rocket? Come on, where's Batman and Wonder Woman?
Oh, I should mention that while Static is part of the DC universe, he did not start there. See, Static was originally
Dakota.
created by Milestone Comics, which eventually merged with DC. Their characters, including Static, existed in an alternate timeline known as the Dakotaverse.
Bruh.
Then a guy named Dharma gained cosmic power and accidentally
Yep,
blew
merged
everything
them.
up, sending Static into the main DC timeline. It's
Like
really
I
not
hate
too
that they
complicated.
they took all their stuff and
I've
then
actually
just
been working on a
completely
device to peer
get away
into
with
the
it.
Yeah, they don't
timeline,
use it,
but
yeah.
Unfortunately, it still needs.
Button! Well now, old chap, what were we discussing but a moment ago?
That's why they
Oh,
don't
sweet,
use
don't
static.
you know?
That's why they don't
Figure out
use
who
static
got
in a
the
lot of their
wins
stories in the
with the
comics.
Yes,
Even though he's a
I'm
fan
at
favorite,
Let's
every
begin,
time
my
they
fellow
use them, they have to
Ultimate
pay to use them.
I regret.
Shouldn't have bought them in the first place. It's like,
Oh, do
oh,
it
it's
again.
competition. Let's
No.
get rid of them.
I'm sure that's fine.
Well, no matter the universe, Static was always one-upping himself. He learned how to see ultraviolet light and how to make people glow. Wait, what's that got to do with shocking people?
That would
Showing
be his
their aura.
ability to detect bioelectric auras. Static can also create power-draining plasma coils, disrupt the electrical impulses of others, and empower or heal himself by draining energy from outside sources.
He can literally reattach his severed arm with shock power.
Damn.
I'm not even joking. Look at this.
That must have
Since
been in
when
the
did
New 52
electricity
run.
do that?
Clearly, Static has a lot of power at his beck and call.
He can survive building-sized kabooms, lift hundreds of tons, and once turned this huge chunk of ice into slush in just a couple seconds.
Based on the size of the ice and the required change in temperature for such a feat, Static must have output energy equal to 180 tons of TNT.
He's quick enough to intercept lasers confirmed to be
180?
beams of actual light,
Pause that?
which is
Feet. Static
How
must
many
have output energy
tons
equal to 180
of energy did Miles Morales survive? Like 155 or something like that?
I don't remember. I can go back if you want.
Yeah, jump back real quick. That's like remember where we at though.
his heists into his with the idea to store the super serum
On red and black,
super radar, the spider sense.
long to short.
Leave it there.
Essentially, manipulation gave Miles a few extra moves of his
Because I think they was doing it when they was
Fire off
talking about what Peter
massive
Parker
explosions
can
that
do.
even turn invisible.
Yeah.
and wheels. Essentially, he needed to open and close a portal in an impossibly short time frame to prevent an alien force from invading. It's a long story.
Point is, he's super fast. With his spider sense, he can.
About 222 tons of TNT.
There it is.
Sure, that's
222.
not technically canon to the comics,
Okay,
but
you can
guys,
go for it.
main series
So
Spider-Man has
that
done
means
one
that
Jeff,
Static
what we
can't
discussed a
generate
moment
something
ago.
stronger than
Oh, shite, those
what he's already
been
been
doing.
Wins a fatality
Yeah.
kerfuffle. Or
Since
back in 180 tons
That's
of
it.
TNT.
he's quick enough to intercept lasers confirmed to be beams of actual light, which is pretty darn fast.
wow.
And in the
That's
cartoon, he
fast.
actually shoved some quantum juice in some lockers and launched them out of orbit. These are typical school lockers, which can weigh up to 30 pounds each.
And fit approximately one nerd.
To throw 3 of these into space, they need to be moving nearly 3,000 times
Damn.
faster than sound, requiring a throwing force equal to 4 kilotons of TNT.
Damn!
Ooh.
Okay, sure, that's not canon to the comics, but his electromagnetism could play tug of war with Superboy's telekinesis, which can lift 4 million tons. I'm not sure Static can go that far, but if he's anywhere close, it's still higher than throwing some lockers around.
Though, despite Static's incredible power, insulators are his kryptonite, and he can
Yep.
run out of juice if he pushes himself too much.
But
Yep.
the guy's one of the coolest superheroes who rarely got his time to shine. Heck, he was good enough to join the Justice League. I think even Virgil himself was shocked to see how cool he really was.
Okay.
All
Okay. Predictions. He has that force field. Miles Morales can touch that force field and redirect that energy flow inside of him, shorting him out, right? He can do that.
Yep.
If he's able to touch him, Miles Morales can short him out because he's no different than any other appliance or any other villain.
Yep.
He can also create more energy than Virgil can. He can survive greater energy than Virgil can. But I will say this. If Virgil wins, it will probably be only because he shorted Spider-Man out and is able not short him out, but since he can control electromagnetism, well, first off, he'll see him draw his invisibility and shit because he can
Yeah.
see
The
the outline
auras
and
and
make
stuff,
yeah. So he's either going to control his body because he can control electromagnets and stuff. But they said objects, not people. They didn't say people.
Yeah, if I remember right,
So-
in the cartoon, and I think in the comic books, he can control, let's say, like the static cling and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
don't know if he could just straight. I mean, I'm assuming he can, but he should be able to just electrocute somebody and stop their heart from beating. But
He said if there's electric current, he can control that kind of stuff.
yeah, and
So
and
if he
and
does,
the human body does have current that runs everything. So
yes, if he does, that he will end up grabbing Miles with that electromagnetism and then just toss him out into outer space.
yeah,
Especially like the force alone to generate that much energy, even if he doesn't toss him out into outer space,
Would
he'll
kill him.
toss him to the ground. And that energy alone is already way past what he can already survive. So that
Yeah.
he would die. Other than that, they would have to short each other out.
yeah, yeah. Or I
So-
mean, I'm assuming he could grab the static cling to his outfit and just fly him up into space or something like you said. Like it's, but
Unless
it all depends on what they can do, or
Yeah.
what they're going to do animation wise.
Exactly. Unless Spider-Man shorts him out, and then not punches him, but like electrocutes him, he's not gonna win.
Yeah, and I think another thing they could possibly do, because I think one thing how Electro always hurts Spider-Man is he webs him, and then the electricity can travel along the webs to electrocute him. So they may have
See?
something similar in this too.
Yeah, if they do that, then it's not gonna insulate.
Yeah,
So I currently just because of the amount of strength that he can do with that tossing part, and his ability to redirect flow of electricity, I think Static is going to win.
All right, well, we'll see.
Who do you think?
Watch where you're aiming. I got places to be tomorrow.
I mean, I'm gonna still give it to Static, but only because it's like Miles. It's like it's a huge power difference between them. Unless he catches them with a move, like you said, that's it.
He did just get hit.
Yeah, or put Static in a position where he can punch him. If he can punch him, like that should have killed him right there. But
Yeah, should have. Got him with the hey.
Me? Getting zapped? What's up with that? I call that the shoulder touch. And I call this my taser punch.
Yo, I'm digging the music right now, dog. They got the vibe going with this one. Oh.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Stop sticking! Stop sticking! Come on out, Spider Boy. Huh? No more flying pizza trays.
Yeah.
see, he can still fly with it.
He can, yeah. He can just combine it.
Okay.
Only put 2 shards under his feet.
So do I.
Yeah.
How did he break apart that? But okay.
What the fuck?
Yep, there you go.
Yep, there it is. Yep. And it got rid of his webbing. I mean his web shooters.
You stupid. All I gotta do is. What?
Yep.
Guys, McCoy, if you hadn't noticed, this electric biz is kind of my thing. Oh man.
Hit him and then shorted him out.
That was tough.
There it is.
Yep.
Looks
There
like
it
we're
is.
kicking off this year with a bang. Poor Miles, though.
Honestly, I'm surprised how this turned out. At first glance, Miles appeared to have a good chance of victory.
He was
No, he
definitely
didn't.
physically stronger than Static. He would have totally won an arm wrestling contest.
But Virgil's overwhelming electric power put him at a level above the young Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, overall Static's feats were way above Spidey's, even when we scaled Miles to classic Peter Parker's biggest feats. Static definitely had the oomph to
Pause
take
it.
Miles out, but
While Miles' Venom Sting is super effective on genetically altered opponents like Virgil, it's a far less effective weapon compared to Static's own electric attacks. Static's impulse disruption ability was also more precise and could cover longer distances. Okay.
Miles had no easy way to get around his force field.
The variety of techniques at Static's disposal also rent many of Spider-Man's abilities moot.
Like how Spidey's invisibility didn't matter when Static could light him up like a Christmas tree. And his
Yep.
speed was so similar to what the Spider Sense could give Miles that the Super Radar wasn't that big of a help. Remember, just because he knew an attack was coming, didn't always
Didn't mean
know
he
when
could
to
dodge
dodge
it.
it at the time.
And, well, shockingly, Static only needed to hit him once. See, his electromagnetic manipulation gave him
Many
control.
Spider-Men have the ability to electrostatic abilities such as wall clinging nullified by outside electromagnetic forces before including the main series.
Yep.
See, so that's the part where I didn't like. I enjoyed that he demagnified the wall,
Mm.
but I didn't like how he can control his body's internal magnet. Because if that's the case, then Miles should have been able to reverse that. Because in the beginning, they said that he can also do that with his own body. So he can control his body's electromagnet disruption, where he can stick to walls or not. So I don't believe that Virgil could disrupt that. so easily.
Yeah.
To where at least for a split second he could, but Miles should be able to control his own body's electromagnetic forces too, just
Yeah,
by
because
will
that's how
alone.
he does his bio blasts and
Exactly,
stuff like that. So yeah.
exactly. But making him not stick to the wall, I like that.
Yeah.
Because he affected the wall and not necessarily his body
Yeah.
himself.
Control over Miles's wall crawling and other abilities. As soon as he got a hold of Miles's bioelectric aura, it was basically all over.
But hey, Miles and all the other Spider-Men fight Electro all the time, and they have no problem dealing with him. Why was Static any different?
Simply put, every iteration of Electro pales in comparison.
Yeah,
He has
that's
no
true.
feats of power that come even close to Static, and frankly, he's an idiot. This was a fascinating matchup, but oh no, not again!
Yay! Mr. Morales put up a jolly good
Wow.
show, and yet Mr. Hawkins had him outdone in breathtaking power, stalwart defense, and veritable versatility.
Oh, he was just miles ahead of him, don't you know?
The victor is Static.
Hey, thanks for.
Okay.
Okay, so here's what I don't like about the ending. When he grabbed him with the electromagnet, like I do like how he was able to like send the electricity back into the webbing and disrupt his webbing. Something that I said before. He has to
Yeah, I
he has
figured that
to
was
take
gonna
away
be a
his
thing.
gadgets. Yep. And then the other thing is for him to grab him, I expected him to throw him or launch him into something, not hit him. And if he did hit him, it just looked like he uppercutted him. Like I want to know if that was supposed to be his like electric blast that shorted out people like Electro and like that. If that was it, then okay, I figured that was going to happen. That's what was supposed to happen. My only total gripe with the whole fight is at the very beginning when he landed those punches.
Should have killed him.
That should have killed Virgil flat out.
Yeah.
Virgil, even though he's strong where he can whip people, it still doesn't show that he can lift objects with his hands or that his body.
Yeah, he's always
take
using his
that much
powers.
damage.
It's not himself doing it. So
Exactly.
yeah, like if Spider-Man punches him, it's like he can punch people's heads off if he wanted to. So it's like
Yeah,
Virgil's neck is not that strong to take that.
exactly. So if that was the case, the magnetic field, I can completely understand him not being able to get past that, like taking a solid punch. But for him to be able to just take a punch to his body that's not reinforced, that doesn't have superhuman, ability to withstand damage like that, healing himself is different. Healing a severed arm is different than taking a blunt force object to the body and survive.
It's not even that. Even like when Dr. Octopus took over Spider-Man's body, he punched the Scorpion. And he didn't realize how strong Peter Parker was. He punched his jaw off.
Plus, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, then he's super strong to take that punch. So Virgil doesn't have that. So yeah, it would have instantly killed him. Chest punch or not, it would have shattered his ribcage and killed him.
Something. Other than that, though, the fight ended up exactly the way I thought it was going to end up.
Yeah.
It's Static is too strong in order to like not win.
You have to get around the powers, and his powers is too strong. Like if they dunked him in the ocean and he didn't have no way to recharge or something, then you have to get around that huge hurdle. So or at least they didn't write it in the case where that happened. So
that's what they didn't show. I mean, they showed that he could be shorted out and then he can expend his energy. I think that's something that they missed. Neither one of them expended enough energy in order to be tired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which that was a lot of I think Static used more energy than Miles did in that fight. He used his shield. He used his electromagnetism to first off take a whole building and demagnetize the entire building. Like you can't tell me he didn't use up a lot of energy to do that. His healing, he used up a lot of energy to do that. Basically, he used so much energy, he should have been tired, and that was his regular form of Virgil. That wasn't his like Justice League of America Virgil. Yeah, where he was still strong. So
yeah, he shouldn't have had that huge reservoir of power without recharging.
Exactly.
Like if he knocked him back through like the buildings or something, and then was like, "Oh, hold on, while you're getting up, let me recharge real quick," or pulled out, or like what he used to do in a cartoon where he had those static bombs that he had, and he drained the power out of one of those to charge itself back. That's something different, but yeah.
I would have loved to have seen them, like if you do like a twist, I would have loved to see Spider-Man almost get the upper hand, and because Static was drained of his power, and then at the very last second, Static used the entire city or in that area and drained the power around him, like the buildings and everything. That shut down, and that's when he was able to do the punch.
Yeah,
I would have enjoyed seeing that because it's in the story, in the rule book, that he can drain energy from different sources.
Yeah,
that would.
Yeah, still,
either way, it
damn good versus battle. I will say that
extremely
with the music, the style, the colors, and everything, trying to be like the Spider-Man movie. Yeah, great.
I enjoyed this one better than I enjoyed the Flash. Shit, both of the other two. Like this is my favorite one. I love this so much. It's really good job.
Yeah, it was good. All right, YouTube. Well, let's end this video here since we're pushing 30 minutes here. But if you guys want to see us do more of these death battle type reactions, or hell, anybody's versus videos, because I know they're not the only people that do this kind of sort of thing. Let us know down in the comments below. We're both comic book fans, me more than Jolly, but we still like to debate and talk about all of this stuff because it's definitely fun to talk about. So leave any suggestions down in the comments below. And
like, comment, subscribe, all that pandering bullshit.
Hit the like button. Make sure you click the bell and do all that other YouTuber stuff. Please, we greatly appreciate it.
Do it if you want to. We will put up more content, but we want to connect with you guys more than anything. Yeah. If you know you're not going to watch any more of our videos, you don't have to subscribe. Just subscribe if you want to be a part of us, like part of the community, part of us. Anyway, let me be out of here. I'll shut up now, drink my water.
Later, YouTube.